I am not sure what happened to this hatch. So I first had these in another incubator. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. We finally got rain last night, which is amazing. It actually watered things really good, so I don't think I'm gonna have to water anything today, which is a blessing. The Lord brought some water, and I know that's gonna make things grow so much better than what I could do. And there's also chances of rain throughout the week, which is totally awesome. All right, guys, so I'm coming down here to check the status of my second incubator. I had like 13 eggs in there, and yesterday we only had one chick in there, and I had one egg pipped, and I don't know what happened to the rest of the eggs. But I was hoping I would at least have 2 chicks that would be able to be together. Well, let's go see. Oh, you only have the one, y'all. I am not sure what happened to this hatch. So I first had these in another incubator. It was a different brand. This is a Brinzy. The other incubator, I was having a hard time keeping the humidity where it needed to be. So when the first hatch in here happened, I went ahead and moved them out and moved these eggs into here, because I know this incubator right here stays solid humidity. It's got like a little pump, and it just keeps it right at the exact humidity, and I couldn't keep the other one at that. So that's the only thing that I can think of that was different. So it's kind of misfortunate. I hate that. And I can't leave that one little chick in here by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and take it down the hill with the rest of them. It kind of looks like there's movement in this eggshell. So I am maybe going to try to rescue this chick. Sometimes I just don't do that just because I'm not sure why it didn't hatch. And sometimes they don't make it. Oh, you're not happy, but I may give it a try, just since there's only one in here and I see it moving. Look at that little cutie. We're gonna get you some friends. Put you right there. Probably try to jump out. Alright, let's look at these eggs. Oh, and this one's moving around. Oh, mercy. Y'all, I've done this before, because I've raised silkies a lot of years, and sometimes I would just interfere and try to rescue them out, because sometimes they get dry in here, and this one sounds like it's just really went out of here. You got to be really careful. It's really, because their hair gets dried up. Oh, I know. I know. You want out. This is a really careful process if you're going to do this. You can't just pull one out of the egg the minute it opens up, because they can bleed. So you've got to do it very slowly and make sure that it's not bleeding as you're removing the eggshell. If it is, you have to stop. Oh, the friend. It wants to come join its friend. Alright, it doesn't look like it's stuck in any way to the membranes. There's no blood. So I think we actually have a success here. Oh! And sometimes you can do a little warm water and wet their feathers. And that way they come apart from the eggshell if they're kind of stuck to it from drying out. Actually, I'm going to put this one back under here and turn this incubator back on so it can stay warm for a little while. And I may even put this one back in here for a few hours just while this one is trying to dry off and pep up. We'll have some encouragement from this one. So I don't know if it's going to make it, but I'm going to give it a try. So I put the baby chick back in my incubator. We'll keep it at the temperature that it needs to be at for a little while, let it dry off. And I kept the other chick in there just because I know that it will probably do a little better if they have each other. And then I'll bring them both. If this one survives, I'll take them both down the hill under my brooder down there that I have outside with the rest of the chicks. There's only like a week's difference between them, so I think they'll be totally fine. They're separated from any bigger chickens. So I used to have a big Brinzy incubator, a cabinet, and I would hatch weekly. Would have trays full of like silkies and Cochin Bantams, and a lot of times I wouldn't interfere with nature. If I had those eggs that were pipped, I wouldn't mess with them, because on most circumstances, in most cases that I ever interfered with them, and there were times that I did, especially in the beginning, I would try to save every single one of them. The problems I would run into would be there would be some sort of health issue, so there was probably a reason why the egg didn't hatch anyways. So I normally just let nature take its course, but there were a few times that I felt like it was almost there, and I was just like, I'm going to try to get this chick out of here. If it was a special color I really wanted really bad, and I would try that, but sometimes it still wouldn't make it, or it was just a weaker chick in general. But if you're going to do it, if you see the egg pipped, can't just go ahead and break the egg apart, because there's a lot of membranes, they're still attached, there's a lot of blood flow still going on in there. You have to do it slowly, and usually I wouldn't do it all unless the egg had zipped all the way around, which it tried to almost get out of the egg completely, which they will pip a hole, they'll zip, which they'll make like a cut all the way around, and basically the top will come off the egg, they'll break loose. If they get almost to that point, that's when sometimes I would interfere. If they were tired, they weren't able to come out that way, I would gently break a few pieces, small pieces of the shell apart at a time. If there was any bleeding at all, I would stop until that had resolved. And it could be a process. And then sometimes when they're in that incubator and that air flow is getting on them, it'll dry out the membranes and they'll get stuck. They'll get stuck to that shell. And then you can't pull it because it will pull off their little chick down. So you may have to take like a warm rag. So it is a process. It can take a while. So most circumstances, as time went on, I've raised tons of chicks and incubated lots of birds. I would just really let nature take its course, and I would not bother them. If they didn't hatch, they didn't. I just try to make most of the environment in the incubator like it's supposed to be. I always make sure my incubator's cleaned out after each hatch. I keep the humidity where it needs to be. I keep the temperature on pinpoint. And then just have healthy chickens overall. You know, the health of your chicken has a lot to do with your hatch rate and things like that as well. But that is just a little bit of information I thought I'd give you all. So we're going to see what this chick does. I'm going to give it a couple hours. It should, you know, if it's going to be okay, it should look pretty normal in a couple hours, up, walking around, and ready to go down to the brooder. Feeding time for the aquarium critters. Everybody's doing good in the big tank. Growing quite a bit. Some of my plecos. This is one of Seth's plecos that he had hatched out a little while back. A lot of little babies in there. I put some of these sticks on the bottom so they're all going crazy for him. Even the guppies like them. Alright y'all, been out here looking at a boat. My son came home from his girlfriend's house. They were out on the lake and they found a paddle boat. Someone had abandoned it. It was under the water. And I think we got to fix like the seal on the front of it. He's going to work on that this week. And maybe get like a new canopy for it. But yeah, it's like a 3-seater. Who'd have thought? Free boat. Alright, I'm gonna go in and check these baby chicks again and see how that one's doing. Let's go see. Let's look at the flowers on the way though. Zinnias or zinnias, however you say that. Look how tall my hummingbird vine's getting. Always look at these. I think these are so pretty. First zinnia bloom back here. It's a little orange one. It's tiny too. Y'all, I gotta do some propagating this week of some of my carnivorous plants. I occasionally propagate these and sell them because they're kind of hard to find in this area, and I love propagating stuff. So I sold a couple yesterday. What I normally do is put them over here in some sphagnum moss and let them sit for a while till they root. Now I do cut them back a little bit so they can put energy into the roots, and when they first start rooting you can tug on them and feel that they're in there pretty good, but you can see that that's actually starting to try to grow a new leaf now. It'll grow new ones out and get really pretty looking. Also got one up here. It's actually rooted, and you can tell because it's already starting to get little picture formations coming out on the end of the leaf. All right, let's check the babies. Oh, it's looking good. She's like, get up. Oh, look at it. Yay, we may have some success with this. I'm hoping so. Two would be so much better together than that little one by itself. I mean, the other ones down the hill are at least 7 or 8 days ahead, so this is really good. So hopefully this one's gonna make it. All right, guys, I'm headed back down to the basement to check on the chicks for the one last time because we're headed to Bible school soon. So I got a busy day ahead of me, and I don't want to have to come home late and then leave them down tonight. Fingers crossed that it's doing okay. Well, I think that it looks pretty good. That one's been in here a couple days. It's ready to come out. Hey, buddy. All right, let's check it out. Let's see if we can get it out of here. What are y'all doing over there? Alright, let's check the heat's pretty warm under there. It's a nice warm day, so they've come out from under the brooder. Ooh, you're fast. Let's look at you. Let's look at your wings. This is going to be a very light colored bird. Actually pretty excited. Oh, I see a little bit of dark on the other wing. All right, all is well. I've got to head up to the greenhouse and water it real quick. Head to church. Cooking hamburgers and hot dogs tonight for the kids for Bible school. We always have really good meals at Bible school. We feed everybody. The adults come to eat too. All right, I want to show you guys the cone flowers real quick one more time before I head in. They're so beautiful. I showed them on the last video, but I just don't know if I got their beauty quite captured. I had them on my GoPro, but oh wow, look at that. Gorgeous. Just stunning, that color. I think this is a different color, and I'm not quite sure what color that is. We'll see soon though. Beautiful. Good morning. Oh, it is a cool, crisp June morning here. The weather is so amazing right now here in East Tennessee. Oh, I'll check out my big garden. It's growing at a high rate too. I'm going to have to come down here and work on staking more of the tomatoes and the cucumbers down there. And it's super wet right now, super muddy. So I was going to do some weeding, but right now it's kind of not a good time. It rained. When it rained, it rained. It became a good rain. Hey chicks. Hey baby chicks. They've been sitting on top of my brooder. Oh, there they are. So they're making a mess. Oh, hey. They're looking. Oh, there's the little one. Right there. Oh, now you can see the two little ones on the right. They're a week smaller than the others, but the little one I hatched out is right there. I got one little frizzle. There's the little one. And it's tiny. They've got a little hole they can go out into. A little tunnel. Hey chickies. Hey little chickies. So I think it's doing pretty good. It looks really healthy. Hey baby. Hey little baby. Alright you guys, I'm super excited that it's doing good and it made it through the critical period, I think. It's just staying warm down here under the spruder. I've raised a lot of chicks down here even in the winter time, so we're in June right now, so they're super safe down here being this small. Sometimes I would wait till they're about 2 or 3 weeks before I bring them down here, but they're fine. What in the world? Chickies. Hey little chickies.